Welcome back to the channel. Phil again here from Harris Automotive. We got a 2013 BMW X5 that has a seized engine. This is going to be a long video. We're going to go step by step our replacement process. This is also going to incorporate the interaction that we have with the extended warranty company. This vehicle has an extended warranty. We had to get authorization from the customer for tear down so we can break it down to the point of failure. We're going to have the inspector come out. We're going to show the entire thing. So number one, let's start with excuse me for stuttering. Let's start with under the car. First thing we're going to do is get the exhaust removed. Pretty simple. Exhaust has one clamp up front. Pretty simple. And got a couple hangers. A little rubber hanger here. And then got these two bolts here that holds this hanger and the same thing on that side. Remove the exhaust portion from the vehicle. Now come up under the vehicle. We have a couple panels. I'm not going to show all this stuff, but you have a couple panels you got to take down. This here is your transmission mount and transfer case support. You have about 8 bolts on this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 here, and plus the center bolt for the transfer case. You got to get that removed. All right. Next portion, and come up under here, is the suspension. Now, we bring this all down. We bring this down one complete unit. I'm going to show you. Transmission, engine, suspension, all completely together. So the first thing you want to do is get your caliper off. Get your caliper removed, get it supported. Remove the upper ball joint. This stub broke coming out. We have to deal with that a little bit later. But again, remove it from the upper ball joint. Get your caliper disconnected and also get your lower control arm bolt that holds the strut in. Come over here. It's the exact same procedure. Again, we have a caliper disconnected, 2 bolts for the caliper, upper ball joint, caliper bolts, and we're going to bring it down. I'm going to show you what's happening up top. Let me get this down for you. Now, in doing this, this is kind of an involved job. If you're not too skilled or you're not used to doing big jobs, this is not something I would attempt. It's not overly involved, but it can be kind of tedious. So let me show you what we got going on up under the hood real fast, because we're actually about to drop this engine out. So if you come here up under the hood, let me show you what we got to prep. Now again, we have our wiring harness. Our wiring harness, goes over here to everything sits right here. The engine control module, everything kind of goes right here. We disconnect our wiring harness and we lay it on top of the engine. Also, obviously, we have our AC lines disconnected. So what you want to do, you're going to get an AC machine, remove the refrigerant, obviously, and suck the refrigerant out. Now, at this point, come over here, Tyler. Of course, got the air box out. Down here, we're kind of struggling a little bit because the yoke for the steering rack is kind of frozen on. We just kind of went up a little bit higher and removed it from this portion up here. And of course, I'm not going to show the air box and everything. It's kind of simple to take your air box and everything off. So now we're actually ready to lower this down on the ground, and I'm going to show you how that's done. Just want to show you some of the other components that you have to remove. You got to get your coolant reservoir out the way. Again, pretty simple, just a couple screws. Power steering reservoir, again, just a couple screws. And this here, we just keep these plastic totes. This here, fresh air tube. And you have to take all your intercooler hoses off. The cover for the top of the engine, the air filter housing. You see, you really don't have that many components, and all this stuff comes off pretty easy. All right, let's get to the removal. Okay, we got 6 bolts that hold this subframe up. Come follow me. All right? You have 1 here, 2, another one right here. And if you come back to the back, you got a 3. Same on the other side. Let's get this thing lowered down. Now, we do not have a table here, a table to kind of a hydraulic table, which I have to invest in one. All we're going to do is we're going to take these half buckets and we're going to put them right here, and we're going to let the engine and the transmission sit on the top of these 2 buckets. I'm going to show you. All right, so we got a team effort here. We have our 6 subframe bolts removed. So now what we're going to do, we're going to get the engine and transmission and power plant down on our crates, and we're going to lift the body of the car up. So we're going to do this together. Let's do it, Terry. Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it. So pretty much what we do, we just go nice and slow. Terry's going to start going slow. And we have people on both sides of the car checking to make sure that nothing's happening. And actually, I'm gonna step up top and make sure that we're fine. And I'm looking down. We have our steering shaft removed. So he's just double checking things. And as look, so what we just kind of got a homemade thing that has wheels so we can move it around a homemade table. And we just use half of a 55-gallon plastic drum. Nothing special.
Guys ready?
We are ready.
Good?
Yeah, look good. Yep.
Good over there, Alex? Yep.
And this is how it's done. Nice and clear. And it's really just that simple. And just like that, this is how it is. This is how it's done. So our next step, obviously, since it's a seized engine, we're not going to be able to turn the torque converter to get these torque converter bolts out. So we're going to separate this trans and just leave the torque converter with the engine. Then we're going to get this engine onto a stand. We're going to flip it over, and we're going to get the oil pan off. That way we can inspect the main bearings, because this engine is seized. So I'm sure the main bearings is bad. All right.